The world is a vast and wondrous place. It is filled with many different peoples. God, in His infinite wisdom, made each culture unique. Ministry often calls us to meet these people, to step into their worlds with open hands. It is a great adventure He sets before us. This journey opens our hearts wider than before. It expands our minds in surprising ways. We find we learn so much about God and humanity. Truly, it is a path of discovery and awe. Stepping into a new culture brings much excitement. The sights and sounds can be thrilling, but it can also present real challenges. Customs and traditions are often unfamiliar. Language can seem like a high wall. We might feel lost or out of place at first. This path requires true courage from deep within. We must be patient with ourselves and with others. Learning is a slow but rewarding process. God walks with us in these new beginnings, yet there is such profound beauty in these differences. Each tradition often holds a hidden story. Each person reflects a facet of God's image. We can see God's creative hand in every culture, in every joyful song, in every shared meal, in every act of kindness shown to a stranger. This diversity is a precious gift to behold. It shows the breadth of His amazing creation. We are privileged to witness such wonders. It enriches our own faith journey. This journey of connection asks us to be humble. It requires us to listen much more than we speak, to learn with the spirit of a willing child. True, lasting connection begins with heartfelt respect. It starts with a genuine desire to understand, not to change, but to appreciate first. God honors a heart that stoops to learn. This is where His work truly flourishes. Listening is the most important key, not just hearing the words people say, but seeking to understand their hearts deeply. People everywhere long to be truly seen. They desire to be valued for who they are. Before we even think of sharing our own beliefs, we must first listen with our whole being. This simple act builds a strong, reliable bridge, a bridge of trust, understanding, and care. It is the pathway to genuine fellowship. Every culture has its own unique needs and its own special ways of meeting them. What brings help and healing in one place may not work, or could even offend in another. We cannot arrive assuming our answers are best. Instead, we must learn their established ways. We must ask sincere questions with an open mind. We must observe daily life with gentle care. This careful approach shows true respect. It paves the way for meaningful service. Respecting cultural differences is always vital. Customs and traditions hold very deep meaning. They are woven into the fabric of people's lives. They shape how individuals see the world around them. We must be careful not to judge them quickly, or to dismiss what we do not understand. Instead, seek to find the good within them. Honor their ways of life and their heritage. This careful approach shows God's genuine love. It reflects His patience and His kindness. Understanding does not happen overnight. It often grows slowly, like a small tender seed. This precious seed needs constant, gentle care. It also requires a great deal of patience. Trust is built step by careful step, through consistent actions and sincere words. When people finally begin to trust you fully, their hearts will often open like a flower. Then and only then can we effectively share God's love. This is the fertile ground He prepares. I vividly recall the day I first arrived, in a remote village so far from my home. Everything around me was completely different. The language sounded like a beautiful, complex song. The local food was strange to my eyes. I felt very much alone, an outsider looking in. I deeply wanted to connect with the people, but I truly did not know how to begin. I prayed for wisdom, for a way forward. God heard my prayer in that moment of need. One day, a kind family invited me to their home. They offered me their special, traditional food. Sharing this meal was a great honor they gave. I looked at the food set before me. It was not like anything I had ever known. My stomach felt a little uneasy, I admit. Their expectant eyes watched me with kindness. They offered it with such warmth and genuine pride. I knew this was more than just a meal. It was a moment of potential connection. I understood that this moment was important. It was about fully accepting them as people, not just about tasting the unfamiliar food, but about honoring their generous hospitality and respecting their cherished culture. So I took a deep breath and I took a bite. Then I smiled, a genuine smile of thanks. Their faces lit up with pure, simple joy. In that instant, a hidden wall came down. A bridge was built in that shared experience. That humble meal taught me so very much. True respect is often shown in small, simple things, like trying new food with an open heart, or learning a few basic words of their language. Just sitting with people, being present with them. and listening carefully to their life stories. These quiet, unassuming acts built true friendship. It was far more effective than many sermons. It opened many doors for deeper talks later. God used that simple act of eating together. The Bible itself clearly shows God's loving heart, his great compassion for all peoples on earth. Consider the important story of Peter and Cornelius. Peter, as we know, was a devout Jew. Cornelius was a respected Roman army officer. In those days, these two groups were separated by strong cultural rules and ancient traditions. This was a very big wall between them, a wall that seemed impossible to overcome. But God had a different plan in mind. God, in his wisdom, gave Peter a vision. He showed him something entirely new and radical, that no person created by God is unclean. He then clearly told Peter to go visit, to enter the home of Cornelius the Gentile. This was a very big change for Peter. It went against all his upbringing and beliefs. It challenged his old ways of thinking. It stretched his understanding of God's kingdom. But Peter was willing to listen and obey. Peter chose to obey God's surprising command. He went to Cornelius's house, crossing that divide. There he understood God's universal truth more clearly. God truly loves everyone equally and without bias. He welcomes people from every single nation. The Holy Spirit then came down powerfully upon Cornelius and all who were in his house, just as he had come upon the Jewish believers. This was God's undeniable confirming sign, a new chapter in his redemptive story. God calls each of us to do the same today, to courageously cross cultural bridges wherever we are, to extend his love to all people we meet, to learn to see his sacred image in them, respect for others, and a willingness to learn. These are the essential keys to this work. We can all make a significant difference. One kind act, one listening ear at a time. Our small steps of understanding can indeed change lives and bring glory to his name among nations.